The phone rang while I was carrying the last box down the stairs. Not my phone, hers. My wife's sister, the CEO, stood in my doorway with the decorators, arms folded, eyes already past me. When her phone buzzed, she flinched. A small thing, almost nothing. She answered anyway. "Yes," she said. Then quieter. "Yes, he was reassigned." Silence. Her face drained, like someone had pulled a plug. I stopped on the landing, cardboard cutting into my palms. The basement smelled like dust and old paint. Somewhere above me, people laughed. New carpet, new walls. A new employee. The voice on the other end grew sharper. I couldn't hear the words, only the cadence. Authority. Money. Expectation. Her eyes found mine. Held. Then slid away. I understood something had shifted. Not in my favor. Not yet. I kept walking. Each step felt measured, deliberate, as if my body already knew the shape of what was coming. 13 years at the company. 13 years of staying late, of fixing problems no one else could see, of accepting $2,500 a month while others earned triple and called it leadership. "Figure it out," she'd said earlier. "The basement looks nice." I set the box down. The phone call ended upstairs. A door slammed. I smiled to myself. Cold, small, controlled. Whatever she had just realized, it was too late to stop it now. I had always known I was tolerated, not valued. Family companies are like that. You're either blood or you're labor. I was labor. Convenient, replaceable, quiet. My wife used to say it would change, that her sister respected me, that loyalty counted. She stopped saying that about a year ago. That was when the late nights started, the strategy dinners, the way she angled her phone away from me, the way she touched my shoulder only when she needed something. Access, passwords, patience. I told myself it was stress. I told myself I was paranoid. But paranoia has a sound, a rhythm. It starts to repeat. The CEO stopped inviting me to meetings I had built. My wife stopped asking how my day went. Decisions were made without me, then handed down like favors. And the money never changed. When they came for my office, it felt ceremonial. A quiet execution. No anger, no explanation. Just logistics. For the new employee. 26. Fresh MBA. Loud opinions. No history. I packed without protest. Inside, something calcified. I remembered the investor's name. The biggest one. The one who trusted me. The one who called me directly when numbers didn't reconcile. The one who knew my voice before he knew the CEO's. I wondered when he'd notice I was gone. I wondered what he'd find. I didn't confront anyone. I went home. I cooked dinner. I listened. My wife talked about alignment, about future growth. She didn't look at me when she spoke. That night, I logged in. Old habits die slow. So do permissions. I didn't take anything. I observed. Emails first. Deleted threads. Forwarding loops. A private calendar labeled personal, synced to the company account. Then the financials. Small transfers. Repeated. Rounded. Clean. Too clean. Money moving between shell vendors I had flagged years ago and been told to ignore. The CEO's digital signature authorized all of it. So did someone else's. My wife's. I felt the heat rise, then flatten. Infidelity isn't always bodies. Sometimes it's trust. Sometimes it's choosing someone else's ambition over the truth. I pulled phone records next. Not hers. The CEO's. Late night calls. One number. Unlisted. The investor's office line. I watched. I waited. The next morning, the biggest investor called me. Direct. "Why didn't you tell me you've been demoted?" he asked. "I wasn't," I said. "I was removed." A pause. Then softly. "That's a problem." We met in a quiet conference room downtown. Glass walls. Neutral tones. Expensive silence. I slid a folder across the table. No speech. No warning. He opened it. Read. Turned a page. Read again. His mouth tightened. "This was authorized last week," he said, after I explicitly refused. "Yes," I said. "By your wife." I nodded. Another pause. He closed the folder carefully, like it might bite. When we returned to the office together, the CEO was already waiting. She smiled too fast. The investor didn't sit. He placed the folder on the table, opened it, turned it toward her. She looked once, then at me. Shock first, then fear, then calculation. "I can explain." He raised a hand. I stayed silent. My wife arrived late, took in the room, the stillness, the evidence. Her face collapsed. I felt nothing. "I knew," I said finally. My voice surprised even me. Steady, empty. They both looked at me. "I knew when you moved me to the basement," I continued. "You don't hide people you trust. You bury them." The investor turned to the CEO. "You're done." She started crying, loud, messy, the kind meant to distract. It didn't work. My wife reached for my hand. I stepped back. I already resigned, I said, effective yesterday. I handed over my badge. The room tilted. Not for me, for them. The investor nodded once. Respect, closure. I walked out without another word. I didn't feel victorious. I felt precise. Outside, the air was cold, clean, uncomplicated. 13 years distilled into a single decision, to stop being useful to people who only knew how to take. My phone buzzed. I turned it off. Some betrayals burn, others clarify. I walked away lighter than I'd arrived, and I never looked back.